Japan, innit?
Yes, indeed, Japan. That is what we're all about here on the Geeks and Gaijin podcast. Tell us more, John.
Indeed. Welcome to the Geeks and Gaijin podcast. I've been told we should say the name again for branding reasons.
Yes.
I'm the Gaijin John.
And I am the Geek Tom.
And we generally look at Japan stuff, me living in Japan and Thomas not.
Exactly. At least one of us is doing our due diligence.
Yes, my due diligence of attempting to survive in a foreign country. That is extremely easy to survive in. Everyone here is lovely. It's no trouble at all, really. I just have the most first world of problems, which I feel like is just the entire podcast section on Spotify.
You do have to have a certain amount of privilege to think, hey, you know what? I need people to listen to me ramble on the internet, and I can afford the equipment to make sure that that's a possibility. Just for you, dear listeners.
Just for you.
Not at all for our own entertainment and satisfaction.
Oh, okay. No, not at all. Not at all. This isn't fun. Who makes a podcast for fun? It's all about them Audible bucks and that mattress bucks, Thomas. Gotta get sponsored by those mattress companies.
That's the dream, is it not? That's what we're going for. It's the reason we do all this work every week, is so that one day I can get paid by a mattress company.
Anyway, shall we do today's topic first, or shall we do the sad news first and then get that out of the way?
Let's not dwell on these much longer than we need to, because they're only going to be short mentions. It's just that there's been some sad news all over the world this week. From my end, we have the news that Zach Bertschy of Anime News Network has passed away. The exact circumstances have not been clear, but for those who didn't know, Zach has been a member of the Anime News Network for over 20 years. He was their first full-time employee, and he's been central to quite a lot of their different activities and events over the years, including the Anime News Network podcast, I believe. Whilst me and John aren't all familiar with his work, which is why we're not going to dwell on this very long, because it would feel odd to go on about a guy we barely heard of before. It is going to be a sad day for the organization. So, and from your end, John?
Yeah, very sadly, this is huge news in Japan. Hana Kimura has died at the age of 22. She was a professional wrestler and a big cast member of the Netflix series Terrace House. Like a Japanese reality show. It's really, really sad. And announcements were made in both English and Japanese, and just generally everyone around all the wrestling world is just shocked. We're a silly podcast, so we shouldn't really be talking about these. It feels like we'd be skating over thin ice if we weren't talking about them.
I mean, we covered coronavirus when it was just starting to happen before things got real serious.
Don't go listen back to those. Don't.
I have. It was kind of hard to tell at the time, especially considering our main source of news was the Japanese, who have not cared about coronavirus all that much.
It just, if you don't know about the Japanese coronavirus response, I'm not going to tell you about it. It's just the meme from Sailor Moon going, "My job here is done," but you didn't do anything. So today, speaking of Japan's coronavirus response, we have rubbish or trash. Most people are going, wait, isn't that just normally the podcast? Well, yes, but this time more specifically.
We're reaching our zenith, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, we are going to look at the arcane world of Japanese rubbish collecting.
Is it truly arcane? I feel like that undersells just how much technology they've invested into their bizarre recycling and non-recycling strategies.
It's not technology, it's just insanity. After that, we have the always usual snack break. I find the weirdest thing that's Japanese and eat it.
Well, the weirdest food that's Japanese and eat it. You don't find the weirdest anything. Otherwise, you'd have some very serious digestion problems, I'd imagine.
Oh my god, that figure's amazing. Oh. These Westerners have very strange taste. It's like that thing of I love it so much I'm gonna eat it. Sensei, why did you eat my homework? It was just so good. And then after that, we have some of the lighter side of the news. Let's just say it involves buff men and
food. Just exactly what we need in these trying times. These unprecedented times that we're all in together whilst standing alone and separate in our own homes.
Almost nothing has changed for me.
You're in Japan. That's an exceptional case of just business as usual for no reason.
Speaking of trash, for those who don't know, if you come to live in Japan, one thing that you will have to deal with, because you have to deal with it regardless, is rubbish pickup or trash pickup or whatever. And it is extremely intimidating. It's even more than that because it's not even every single prefecture has a different way of doing it. It's every authority has its different way of doing it. So even different parts of the same city could have different levels of rubbish collection. Even buildings like next to each other could have different sets of rubbish collection, because sometimes the landlord that owns the building pays for a special private setup and complicated set. So then you have something different and you need these different bags and these ones and there's no translation available. Sorry.
So wherever you go in Japan, you need to relearn all the rubbish collection laws.
Yes. Yeah, you really do, because everything is different.
Yeah, that's an odd thing to have to keep in mind when traveling Japan.
Yeah, so another thing, this originally came up because I was looking at Japan. Oh, the thing with Japan is it loves plastic. This is a country that will wrap a single banana in plastic. The amount of polystyrene trays I have used since being here must be in the several hundred. It's insane. Everything has so much packaging. It's mind-boggling. It really is.
It's not good. It's no bueno.
And on top of that, with the awful lot of plastic, Japan doesn't have an awful lot of space. They don't really landfill it. So they do the same thing to most of the rubbish that they do with their people, actually, which is burn them. Because if you don't know, also, Japan, generally people get cremated. You don't get buried, because once again, no space.
Where are we going to put the graveyards, John? It's an island.
Well, you have those. They're just very small. And they're in weird, out-of-the-way bits. You'll just turn a corner. Ah, a bunch of graves. Cool. I'm going to keep on walking. But all your rubbish is getting burned, because that is the big way you sort it out. Because first of all, you have the big two. You have the big two that you'll usually have no matter where you are.
Which are?
Burnable. Number 2, non-burnable.
Yes.
You would think this would be obvious which is in which. It is not. Also, by the way, the non-burnable stuff still very likely gets burned.
Just at a higher temperature?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, dear.
So the main thing, lovingly, when I got here, one of my senpai ALTs on the program I'm on essentially did a translation, so I knew what would happen. So this is my specific city. It is different in every other city or even small towns near my city. So this cannot be taken for everything. So the main thing you have is burnable. So this gets picked up twice a week. And this is paper, this is styrofoam, and this is any plastic you can cut with scissors.
Okay.
So that's like yogurt cups, salad dressing bottles, those kind of things. And those are in special blue bags that you have to buy yourself from the convenience stores.
Yeah, I can't use any general blue bag. You have to buy something that's been government approved.
Yeah, and it has the city mascot on it. It's kind of cute. Then we have non-burnable, which are the same but orange bags, and this is what counts as non-burnable is very strange. So you have bottle caps, small glass containers, shaving cream cans, bug spray, broken plates, old pots and pans, old electronics, cables, and plastic you can't cut with scissors.
Nice.
And so if people going, that seems vaguely comprehensive, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, there are 5 more sections.
Oh, that's a proper booklet of instructions you've got going there.
This is an entire calendar you get when you move,
Oh.
to my city, which has burnable twice a week, and then you have non-burnable once every 2 weeks. I will say I have only just 2 weeks ago put out my first non-burnable bag since moving here 8 months ago because I was terrified of getting it wrong. The rubbish men, the bin men or the garbage men, they will see stuff that is wrong and take out the bag and just leave it by the road.
And they'll present you with a sticker of shame so everyone knows that you failed society.
Notably, even Japanese people are like, this is insane. Because that's not recycling. There are multiple things related to recycling. So, also, I don't know if this is interesting or not, but it's interesting to me.
Well, it's a good insight into the peculiarities of Japanese bureaucracy, at the very least.
You have to get something special and separate for big things that can also only, like, bigger rubbish bags that can then only be picked up on certain days as well.
So what sort of things would be in that bag?
Say, like a broken lamp.
Ah, the sort of stuff we chuck in a skip over here.
Yes, exactly. So you need to buy a special big bag for that and put it out, but it has to be the right color special big bag.
Ah, of course.
Another one we have is what are called PET bottles here.
Oh, yes.
They're any plastic bottles. They're any plastic bottles that you usually get from, like, drinking water or whatever. And these, when you come to Japan, will be everywhere because vending machines. We will do an episode on Japanese vending machine culture, but there are vending machines everywhere, and people, like, stand there and drink stuff. And trying to throw these bottles away if they're not at the vending machine is really, really hard.
You know, when we first started this podcast, I never thought I'd hear the expression Japanese vending machine culture. So
yeah,
I realize I might have fallen down a rabbit hole when I agreed to do this.
You're too far in, Thomas. You can't go out now.
Anyway, there's something special about Japanese PET bottles, isn't there? They've been specifically designed.
Yeah, so this is supposed to be a recycling thing. However, you have to take off the caps for them. You can't throw away them in the normal rubbish. The caps then go in the non-burnable part, and you then have to tie those plastic bottles in a separate bag. This notably can be any kind of plastic bag, which also you're still charged for now because save the environment. So you just have another separate bag you put them in, and then they get taken like once every 2 weeks as well. So especially when I was first here, I just had like a bag of about 6 to 7 massive plastic bottles just in the corner, waiting for just whenever they will be taken away. It's just insane. Because this is what happens if you want to try and recycle things. Because then there's paper. Obviously, paper can go in the burnable. But if you want to recycle it and be a good boy or girl, this can be paper, this can be magazines, books, or all the huge, huge amounts of spam mail you will get in Japan. So much spam mail. It's insane. It has to be stacked and then tied up with twine.
Of course. Yes, that makes sense.
Or recyclable string.
Oh, but of course.
So you literally have to make it into a little thing and tie it like a newspaper from the 1920s. Like a stack of those, and place it out on a special day. We have our students do this because Japanese students clean the schools as well, so they have to do all the rubbish that the staff room gets through. And I help clean them with that stuff as well. And just Japanese students being taught how to tie knots, like to properly stack bits of cardboard. And I just have so much cardboard in my apartment because I'm terrified of trying to get rid of it. It happens twice a month, so it happens once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you don't get rid of cardboard on that one specific day, which just so happens to be a Tuesday...
of course.
Because God forbid it be sometime sensible. And that's the same with milk cartons, which you can cut up, but make sure you get rid of some of them that have plastic bits on it. Make sure you pick off the plastic bit and put that in your non-burnable section, which will probably get burned anyway.
Of course.
Welcome to hell. Then 2 more just quickly. Cans or glass bottles. Bottle caps go in non-burnable. Labels from them go in burnable. Separate cans and glasses then go in different bags, and then they're put out on a certain day. You can also hide stuff in the different bags.
But the bin men will find out, John. They'll come for you, John.
I haven't had them throw things through my window yet.
Well, it's strange, the amount of things that the bin men are allowed to do. Apparently, according to the article you sent me, a couple got evicted from their house for not following the regulations properly.
Yeah,
So...
this is why I'm actually like, this is not just, oh, he's scared, he's gonna get something wrong. No, this is a thing. Japan is really strict and it's really complicated. And the only other 2 I've got left here are white styrofoam trays, which you can recycle if you then put them in a plastic bag, but you have to break them down. However, it can only be white styrofoam, because you can also get black styrofoam here, which I think might be recycled already. And that just goes in the bottom of the burnable trash. You can't put it on the top, has to be on the bottom. I've not been doing that.
Seems confusing.
3. There are 4 times in the year you can throw away batteries, so I hope you don't miss one.
Oh no, what am I going to do with all these batteries?
The first Saturday of September, December, March, and my lovely senpai has written maybe June.
Maybe June.
So it's 3 or 4 times in the year you can throw out old batteries. You can't just do what you do in the UK and sellotape the tops and throw them away.
Or take them to your local store, which will probably have some sort of battery recycling point.
They do have that. They do have that. That's all Japanese convenience stores. You can go do that. And this is just my city. If a Japanese person then moves to my city, they have to learn this. Because I also have the one, I'm not going to go through it because God forbid this podcast will be 50 minutes long. That is from a neighboring city that has burnable garbage, then used paper, then food trays, then recyclables, which are separate. One of them, which has a specific section for whiskey bottles. And then this has a separate one for plastics and non-burnables. Notably, an example for one of the things for plastics is vinyl hoses.
Interesting.
The translation in English here is quite nice. They have examples of what would be in these things, and the following thing is other concrete examples that
Very
notably
good.
aren't concrete.
Yes. Don't try and recycle concrete, kids. It's going to be very difficult.
Also, notably, there is a specific note made for containers for natto, fermented Japanese soybeans.
Nice.
We've had requests for that for snack break. That is not happening.
Why not?
No. I refuse. I've eaten it once. Never again. No.
You're going to have to go into more detail, John.
It is fermented soybeans that become sticky. Imagine blue cheese as soybeans.
Not so nice. Okay. Right. I'm starting to get the idea here.
That then create little, almost spaghetti strings of, melted cheese, but that's actually fermented soybean through the air. And it belongs in the trash, like everything I just talked about.
Goodness me, I don't know who's been requesting these things for you to eat, John, but clearly they don't have your best interests at heart.
Small Japanese children have been requesting that.
That explains it then.
I was talking to one of my Japanese teachers, and they were talking about, natto is the kind of thing that your grandma feeds you when you're 3 or 4, and it then is just a Stockholm syndrome of you've eaten it since you were that young. They are like, cool, whatever, this is fine now.
Oh, marvelous. Marvelous.
Also, Japan has an obsession with this tastes horrible. It must be good for you.
They've got the reverse there. I see where they're coming from, but no.
It's what happened when I fed them Marmite. They were like, "Oh, it's disgusting. Is it good for you?"
No.
It has vitamins. Also, a really good source of vitamin B12 if you're vegan. It's snack break time.
Heck yeah. John, if you're going to keep throwing your stuff, okay, I forget that everything's in individual wraps. It doesn't matter if you throw it around.
Exactly.
There's absolutely zero consequences to your actions.
This is a pucho. Pucho. Yes, so this is a kind of candy. A kind of chewy candy. The best way I can describe it looking is kind of like a starburst. Kind of like Japan loves this kind of thing. I will show it to Thomas.
That looks like gum.
Yeah, it's not gum, but it's like a starburst. It's like a chewy sweet. These come in 4 flavors in what I have. You have pineapple.
Nice.
Which is new. I think orange?
Nice.
Cola and what appears to be soda.
Of course. We've already established that cola and soda, well, soda has its own flavor, apparently.
Yeah. And these ones are trying to sell themselves. Generally, these are very popular in Japan. You've got big, chewy sweets with like basically semi-liquid centers or gummy centers. And so these is what these are supposed to be. But bonus, not just that, because I've opened one of the soda ones for specific reasons. Also in here are like a small half white tablet, which is like it's not an actual tablet. It's like a sugar pill that like fizzes. So it's supposed to like create the experience of drinking a fizzy drink whilst eating the candy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you can always find the pictures of these when I remember to upload them on the Gaijins on Instagram and on the Facebook eventually as well. But no, so this is for soda with the small white, hopefully not ominous tablet in it. Here we go. It smells of sugar.
As all soda does.
Indeed. It's very chewy.
As to be expected, really. I don't see how you didn't see this coming. Yes, this will take a while, ladies and gents. Bear with us. John, try not to chew too hard or, get it stuck in your throat or something. Oh, God. I can't call the emergency services in Japan if you need help.
No, so that was quite fun. The best way I can describe it is like this is a British candy reference. Americans get better candy. It's a bit like a refresher, like a starburst version of a refresher. It has this same kind of soda taste that the gummies did a couple of weeks back. The tough gummy that was soda flavored, which kind of just sugary and airy. But like the tablet thing that you crunch on, it becomes like a rush of like sugar, and so it tastes like a refresher bar, like almost English sherbet, not American sherbet because that's ice cream, but English sherbet, the thing that's in flying saucers and refreshers and that stuff. It tastes like it's a little tablet of sherbet, like in it when you munch it.
Fizzy, nice.
No, yeah, it's good, and the fruity ones are really nice. I've had one of those before, but yeah, I will generally give these a gum out of 10.
All right.
I should not have started to eat another one before finishing the podcast.
Technical difficulties. Bear with us. John's not finished chewing. Oh, no. Right. Well, we're out of song as well. That's all the music we have for you today, so we'll just have to stay on hold.
Your call is important to us. Well.
Indeed.
Speaking of manly men eating Japanese food, Thomas.
John.
Do you know what Japan thought Uber Eats lacked? Because
I'm sure Japan thought Uber Eats was lacking in many different departments. But what is it you wanted to tell me, John?
Well, because everyone has been eating at home so much, Japan is a very big culture of eating out. And obviously, due to the event that must not be named, lots of people are eating at home currently. So a couple of businesses have sprung up to cater to this. This is quite an interesting article that I found from japantoday.com that Thomas Japanese buff men delivery service will send beefcake and also things to eat to your door.
Very nice. They went full in on the pun, and I respect it.
Indeed. Thank you, Cassie Basile. I apologize for not doing your name correctly. So apparently, this is in the Japanese city of Nagoya, which is kind of near Tokyo. It's vaguely nearby. It's like a couple of hours drive. But this is set up by a man called Masanori Sugiura, and he is a very muscular man, but he's also the president of Aichi Prefecture-based catering company. He is the third generation owner of a set of high-class sushi restaurants.
Very nice.
So what he's now done is because he likes to compete in professional bodybuilding competitions.
As we all do.
Indeed. He has combined his two loves, his two passions, his two parts of his personality into one with Vber Macho.
Uber Macho.
The V is made to look like a U.
Yes. It's Vber Macho.
It would, in Japanese, it would be Vber Macho. Vber Macho. But this is a food delivery service staffed entirely by buff men. And you can look this up online, spelled VBER Macho. There's just very big men, very buff Japanese men who will deliver bento boxes to you and shareable sushi sets. I'm just wondering who is getting shareable food delivered by these men.
That's one heck of a party, whatever's going on there.
Fun for all the family.
Yep, our boy found all his bodybuilding compatriots and friends, and just that, hey, do you want to deliver food for me? And like, sure, let's do it.
But because, of course, social distancing is important, Thomas, because, of course, in Japanese, social distancing is social distancing. Sorry, the delivery men will maintain a safe distance of 2 metric meters when dropping off your food. So you don't even get close to them.
Which I'm sure is how they prefer it. Yes. They need room for their flexing.
Yes, exactly. They're all apparently all the delivery drivers are bodybuilding competition veterans. They must have been quite badly hit.
By the fact that no one's going to see bodybuilders right now.
Yeah, good point. And apparently, according to the article, they're not at all self-conscious about flexing for an audience.
You just need to tell them ahead of time that you're going to be taking pictures.
Exactly. Though I don't know, surely you will, surely that's the one point you're doing this, you're taking pictures. Like, if you aren't taking pictures, I think you're doing this wrong. But thankfully...
it's not like you can go in for a handshake or anything anymore. You've got to just sort of line it up so that they're outside your doorway, you're inside your doorway, and a third member of your family is taking the picture.
Yeah, exactly. You're just like, look at this. Though sadly, Thomas, I cannot take this up. Because even though there is a special offer currently of free deliveries, aka you just pay the price of the food, not the burly men coming to you.
Yes.
That's only in the city of Nagoya. They do offer deliveries, though still you have to pay. Deliveries to Tokyo and Osaka, though with considerable travel surcharges. And, well, I was about to say the food is very cold, but one of the things they deliver is sushi, so you kind of want that to be cold.
I mean, if your sushi arrives at your place and it's hot, something has gone quite considerably wrong. I think they have to refund you at that point.
It's just next to his big buff pecs. That's how he keeps it warm. Yeah, just to put it into context, Nagoya is a 2-hour drive from the center of Osaka. And I think it's actually further to Tokyo. I didn't realize that. It's actually further out. I thought it was where Shizuoka is for fans of Japanese geography.
That's all of us, John. That's what we're all here for. Is
Indeed.
Those goddamn Japanese maps. Oh, I can't get enough of them.
Yeah, so it's a 4-hour and 20-minute drive from central Tokyo to Nagoya. I assume you can get a 2-hour train. That poor bodybuilder. Can you imagine? Like, that's half it. That's like if you're just going from center to center. That's half your day. That's half your working hours. How much must that cost? I need to find this. Let's. Oh no! All the links are just the articles. You can't.
Aww.
There is no link to the actual site. No. Why? Why can I not see the amount of money it costs to hire Vber Macho? What is this world? The lawsuit is in the post from Uber Eats, but before that point, if you live in Nagoya, Osaka, or Tokyo, and you want to spend some money on some premium beef and also some food, you can order it from Vber Macho.
That's some A5 beef right there.
Yes! That's one of my favorite jokes from Shokugeki no Soma, a cooking anime, which made a Japanese English-speaking joke, which is my favorite joke, my favorite pun, being bilingual between English and Japanese. And I don't care, and I'm making it really not funny by speaking about it. But
at least you're aware of it now.
I know, but the entire joke is that the person is talking about A5 beef, like the best grade of beef. And of course they say A, but 5 is go in Japanese. So if you say ego, that is also the way you pronounce English in Japanese.
Yeah.
Ego is English, so a lot of the people around it just think they're talking about English. I like it when puns work in multiple languages.
And you can appreciate that now.
End of section.
Thank you for coming to John's TED Talk.
Indeed. But do you know what you need to eat at that TED Talk, Thomas?
Food.
Indeed. And what is food best off?
I gotta hold myself back from saying Vber Eats.
It's Vber Macho, not Vber Eats.
Macho plates. I don't know what we're doing anymore. Take me away, John.
Neither are I. We have edible plates.
Oh yeah, that was what we were doing.
Thank you, Thomas, for being so. I think he was so absorbed, children, by the Vber Macho.
Very impressed. They're all very handsome and attractive men.
I know. Yeah. But whilst looking at these handsome and attractive men, hopefully they will deliver to us something on edible plates. Because Japan, as I said at the beginning of this podcast, that as well, is the lover of plastic. So people have noticed this and are trying to cut it down, let's say.
So basically the idea came from another catering company, I believe, wasn't it?
Japan is ruled by catering companies.
And bidmen unions, apparently.
Yep.
It's a very strange dystopia. But basically they were like, hey, we have a plastic problem in this country. We can't recycle all of this plastic. We can't put it in landfills. And there's only so much island we can make out of trash before things start getting weird. Something we skipped over in this discussion was the fact that Japan is literally expanding its borders through garbage, which is bizarre.
What, they're just making more seasons of Sword Art Online?
Oh, dear. But yeah, basically a catering company decided, hey, we make like ice cream cones, and those are pretty neat for holding ice cream. What if we found a way to put actual food on those instead?
Not ice cream. What if all food was ice cream? That's what they should have taken away
What
from
if
this.
all food was ice cream, John? That is the correct question, is why is not all food ice cream yet? But no, they make plates out of a special type of wafer.
It's like potato starch, isn't it?
Yeah, it's potato starch, and they cook it at a temperature so it's a lot more water resistant than regular ice cream cones. Because if you leave ice cream cones for too long, they get soggy and they just sort of dissolve. And you can't have that with a plate. That would be a waste. So they made plates out of stuff. They gave it different flavors. They had like 5 different flavors.
They had so you can have onion, sweet potato, shrimp cracker, and corn flavors.
Pretty safe flavors.
Yeah,
which is good.
I'm surprised. I'm just imagining a plate made out of prawn crackers now. I'm just like, for those not from the UK, these are very popular with Chinese takeaway.
The problem with that would be that I would eat that plate before I eat the rest of my food. So,
but surely you would be eating the rest of the food because it would be falling on your face.
I would have to eat the food
plate
to get me to the plate. Yes, that's true. That's a genius strategy. I should do that more often.
Is this just truly turning all food into burritos? Like you just fold over the plate, boom! It's a beef bourguignon burrito. Boom!
The Mexicans are right all along.
Sushi burrito. Boom!
Sorry, I lost track on when we started talking about burritos. Anyway, yes. So basically, the idea is you eat your food, and then when you're done, instead of throwing away some styrofoam or plastic or something, you just eat the plate, which isn't always a good idea. The article does raise the issue of what if that plate's been on a table and you don't trust that table to have been clean enough. The answer is you throw the plate away, and it either disintegrates far more rapidly than plastic, or an animal eats it.
Yeah, those damn dirty tables.
All those bears that keep coming in and eating all your garbage now have some corn in their diet.
I think it's more pigeons, but maybe they'll fight off the bears for it.
I'll get you.
Yeah, the main issue seems to be the price, though. They cost about 50 yen a piece, that's a decent amount. That's about 50 US cents for one tray.
It makes mass production a little unappealing, especially considering the point of using plastic is that it's dirt cheap, that they can just make a whole bunch of plastic without any real cost. So
the only place you can pass on that cost is then to the consumer. But no, you can buy these e-trays now if you like, but also you can buy edible chopsticks.
That's the next step, isn't it? Which sounds genius, and then I think, wait a minute, why if I just accidentally bite into my chopsticks too hard whilst I'm eating, I'm going to have less chopstick to work with. I have difficulty using chopsticks in the first place.
I'm slightly concerned because I've just gone to their website, and one of them is called tatami flavor. And tatami is a kind of Japanese, like, mat. It'd like be if something was, like, carpet flavored.
There's a joke in there somewhere. And then they're moving on to, after that, edible spoons.
I'm trying to work out what they're actually made out of. Because that is an issue, like, the amount of wooden chopsticks Japan goes through is insane.
Yeah, the government have specifically tried to encourage people using their own special reusable chopsticks instead of just the
yeah, because it's insane.
Ones.
Literally every single meal you will get wooden chopsticks with. It's ridiculous. Apparently this is made out of some kind of just fiber, which according to the website, 60 times of dietary fiber contained in lettuce. But with the English wrong.
Well, yes, obviously.
It's about the same amount of fiber eating those chopsticks as a plate of salad. I don't eat the salad for the fiber, but
I just don't eat the salad.
To be honest, that's really quite cool. I'm excited by it. They're like, they don't look tasty, and like how many? You can get 5 for 2,000 yen. So that's rough. How much? That's 400 yen for one of these sets of chopsticks.
Yeah, I think the reusable chopsticks were a better strategy in that.
Yeah, that's $4. That's $4. That's $4 for an edible pair of chopsticks
that you use once.
Yeah. Sorry, Tatami. Maybe get them cheaper, but they look cool.
Respect their efforts, though. I think edible plates of the future. I firmly believe that.
Their logo is so kawaii. It just has a "you can eat" with a face like munching their chopsticks. It's
yes, like, you customer, you can eat.
You can eat these too.
Me, I can eat? Yes, you, valued customer.
Yay! And mostly, I think that's everything we've got for today.
That is the major stories, yes.
Yeah, well, we've been talking for a long time, so that was the show.
John's cutting us off. All right.
Thank you for listening. We have been Geeks and Gaijins. You can find us on all the Facebooky things: Twitter, Instagram, the Gaijin John, Spotify, iTunes. Leave us a review. Smash that like buttons. Smash the reviewable buttons, but don't do that to your phone because that's
slam your face into the keyboard and roll it around a whole bunch. And
yeah, it doesn't help us at all. We just think it's funny.
I mean, be gentle with yourselves. Exercise restraint and self-care in these trying, unprecedented times, John.
Unprecedented, but don't eat your chopsticks. Get them delivered to you by a buff man, and then you don't have to throw it away and deal with the Japanese garbage system.
Then eat the buff man. No, wait, that's cannibalism. Don't do that, kids.
Stop. He has another 2.5-hour train ride to get back to Nagoya after this.
Yes.
Oh, dear. Well, regardless of so, we also stream on Twitch. We're Geeks and Gaijins. We're getting our way through Danganronpa 2. Not Electric Boogaloo, but there is possibly some electricity involved. It's crazy.
Battery's not included.
Battery's not included, but blowing your mind is, it's such a good game. But yeah, do you have anything else to tell the peoples at home, Thomas?
Stay indoors a little longer if you can. I just wait out a little longer.
Everyone adjust your headsets and remain indoors.
Yes. Consume.
And now, after us, the quiz broadcast. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
References to a 10-year-old TV show.